Okay, so the big takeaway here, what I'm going for, the best compliment I get is whenever somebody says that this reminds me of my mom's or my grandma's, or this reminds me of 4th of July when Grandpa would cook barbecue. And when people tell me about those memories, that is exactly what we're going for, because I think for the longevity of the business, we got to give you a reason to come back. And we're executing food to the highest level that we can, but also we're trying to be very traditional in our approach to go back to the old school ways of doing things. And we're not trying to go too crazy on the chefy side of it. We're just trying to make a really awesome version of everything that we have on the menu. And we know that our long-term success is going to be hinged on or based upon people coming back, 2nd, 3rd, 4th visits. And when we create that family or that mental connection, that food memory, or when we create a new food memory, we know we're going to get you back in the door. And so, the focus here has been on Texas barbecue, and the down low focus as well has been Carolina barbecue. So we got a wide swath of people who come in here from both sides of it, and it's just magical whenever you get that kind of feedback. Starting to pull in now. Hey y'all, welcome to City Limits Barbecue. Let's go do a walkthrough. How about it? So, Saturdays, pretty normal. We just opened about 30 minutes ago. Hey, what's up? Thanks again. Thanks again.
Oh yeah.
See you tomorrow. Hot dogs. Whole hog. What's up? What's up? Hey, the Sunday menu's taped up on the wall up here if you're not familiar with what we do on Sundays. Excuse me, I'm going to squeeze in real quick. Thank you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we have a relatively normal line service, market style line service that you'll see at almost all places that do what we do. Cutting meets the order, wing meets the order. As I talked about in the announcement, we do pre-portion all the pork. What's that? But otherwise, everything is cut or pulled to order. Sides, check out. We got a pretty good flow. One thing that we got incredibly lucky on by chance is that the turnover of the dining room, it works almost perfectly. That we almost never, and I don't honestly remember if we've ever had somebody waiting for a table before. We don't have a lot of seats, but the turnover just works with what we got, because we have a really good mix of to-go and dine-in. So let's check out the dining room. Watch your step. I'm checking on these people real quick. Hey, y'all doing all right so far? Beanie Weenie's good? As promised? Good. Good, thank you. Hey, y'all doing all right so far?
Yeah, they're great.
Thanks for coming. All good so far?
Perfect. Appreciate you, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Let me know if you need something.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. So, dining room. Oh, we didn't get the dining room open until January of 2024. We opened it the week before the first James Beard announcement, but we had some electrical issues that we had to get fixed, and we got them fixed. And then the cleanup in here was bananas. But we finally got it cleaned up. Part of it was getting the engineering for the seating right. It's going to be really tough to tell in the camera, but if you look at the windows, see how the windows are this way? That is the slope of the floor in here. The building was originated, or the floor we're standing on, this was originally a plant nursery, and it got poured a slab so that the water wouldn't run off downhill. He decided to build the building. He built it over the slab without leveling the slab. So when he built the building is literally at the same slope as the floor, and the only thing that's level in here are the two doors. Yeah, I don't know if that comes through on the camera or not, but what we had to figure out was how to get the benches to where people were at the same eye level, and we didn't want to have the chairs on big old jacks and have them wobbly or something. So it took us a few weeks to figure out how to exactly do this in here, but we got it figured out. And kind of a funky little room. I point out to people all the time that if you look closely at these windows, they're actually sliding glass doors turned on their sides. I think I mentioned that. In any interviews that we talked about this building, I usually talk about that. I'm not sure how many seats we have in here. Not that many, I don't know. There maybe 35, 40 or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Something interesting about the property also, you know, he's got this side, like looking into his woods, and at some point, whoever owns that property is going to do something with it. The property line is like literally like a foot or so outside that window. So we really can't do anything with that whatsoever. It's supposedly he got permission to build this place like right up on it. So anyway, that's the dining room. Let's go upstairs, check out the upper deck. Excuse me, thank you very much. For sure, one of the things that I saw when this place was in terrible condition, that I was like, this is going to be cool, was this deck up here that we're getting ready to check out. It's a few degrees cooler than the ground level. There's almost never any bugs up here, and it's when it's like this outside, it is perfect to be up here. Handful of beer garden tables. This is our restroom up here, and it is addictive to just hang out up here. If you follow my Instagram, I'm all the time. I'm up here. Usually you'll see me talking from the edge of the rail because it's better light. But before that, I'm usually up here sitting at one of these tables, just like taking it in. And so you'll see, turn around and you'll see the backdrop of a lot of my Instagram posts from here is out here. And we got, of course, some tables, right behind you. Picnic tables out in the yard. The plan that we originally had was to build several of these pads out here, and what ended up happening was that we started working on the building and just finding so much that we had to do. We knew we were going to find stuff that we had to do, but I guess we weren't really prepared for as much as we did find. So we'll eventually get back to this idea of getting some really nice landscaping and a whole bunch of little picnic table pads where people can just chill out, have a great time by themselves. Maybe we'll do that in the fall. I don't know. Yeah, this fall is going to be really nice here. Let's go check out the kitchen real quick. Okay, so the kitchen. It's kind of small. This is it. We got a range with an oven, and we got a convection oven, and we pump out a ridiculous amount of food through here. And so we don't have a fryer. I would love to have a fryer. I love fried food, but this kitchen, we're maxing out the hood, which isn't that big, and man, we're working with what we got. if we build another kitchen for sure, we'll have a very nice setup. But for now, we're working with what we got. This thing is packed. Both of these are packed from 6:30 in the morning until 11 a.m. just to get our production done. And now we're cooking the backups for early afternoon. So that's our kitchen. Let's go downstairs, check out the pit room. Thank you. Hey, babe. All right. This is me being a photographer. The light out here in the morning and the afternoon is just awesome. This doesn't get enough love. This alley in the morning, the sun shoots down. At certain times of the year, the sun just shoots straight down this alley into the firebox. And with a lot of things here, attention to detail, we could have placed this pit just about anywhere, but I thought, man, this would be really cool. So you're walking down this alley, and you can, when we have the firebox door open, you can see the fire going. Really cool, optical. A lot of space in here that will eventually fill up. The oiler that we picked up a couple months ago. Wow, a couple months ago. Time flies. It was more than a couple months ago. We need to get that thing in here. So I think next week. So timeline. Once this thing gets published, we'll probably have that pit in this pit room. So it's going to fill up kind of quick. So that's a big boy, but it's going to fit in here snug. And we really need another 1,000-gallon and/or another direct pit. But we're going to hold off on adding that for now because we can handle the weekend with what we got going. And it's a logistical challenge to get this all out. But we're handling this volume with 1,000-gallon and this direct cooker, and using the oiler for some overflow and for some specific items. A lot of people watching this, they know what this is. This is a 1,000-gallon pit, Sauce and Smoke Works. I've had this thing. Oh my gosh, I don't know how long I've had this thing, but it's a workhorse for the Texas barbecue, and it's a great pit. Love it. But also picked this up last year, about a little over a year ago. Direct cooker from Syntex, great pit. I picked up a BQ a couple months ago, or a month or so ago, and a couple months ago, and man, this thing, I'm cooking with it. I don't want to. I definitely don't want to talk bad about BQ because there's a lot of guys who cook phenomenal barbecue with BQs, but this Syntex is a beast. Right now we're cooking. So we do all of our Carolina barbecue in here, and when we say Carolina barbecue, I'm really talking about where I'm from. And a lot of people will assume when people talk about Carolina barbecue, North Carolina barbecue. When I say Carolina barbecue, I'm talking about real Carolina barbecue here in the Midlands. Direct cook. This whole area of West Columbia. West Columbia. I've traveled a lot in the Carolinas, in particularly South Carolina. We're in a small pocket where 100% of all of the barbecue joints only cook with wood or charcoal, no gas. And everybody has pulled pork, and what's kind of interesting is that nobody has the exact same protein. So we got a guy doing whole hog, we got people doing hams, and then we got a guy doing shoulders. And here we're doing, as I talked about in the announcement, we're doing long cut shoulders, which is the butt and the picnic, in addition to belly. So all of us don't use gas, and all of us cook pulled pork, but each of us are a little bit different. All of us are yellow sauce people, but we don't yellow sauce our meat, and all of us have hash. And I did a hash lineup last year. All of our hash looks the same. Hash, the hash spectrum is very dynamic in color range and consistency. And interesting, I'm from here, all of us are from here, and all of our hash, you line them up, it's tough to tell us apart. I think probably all of us can tell ours apart, but we're in a particular type of hash zone where we're at. But anyway, we do whole hog once a month, one Sunday a month. So here's our pig from Peculiar Pig Farm. It's a great product. We're getting ready to flip it here in a little bit. We do it North Carolina style. Meat side down, we're getting some color on it, and we want to flip it and run it the rest of the way. So when we're doing it like this, we're coal underneath the meat to get some color on that meat. When we flip it, we're going to start doing perimeter coals to just turn this thing into a big old oven. And that's why I like this pit, is that it's so heavy. It's got a lot of heat retention, which is really important for this baking process, because it saves a ton on the food, on the wood cost of not having to burn quite as much wood. So there's that. We run a burn barrel. We use a couple different types of wood here. We use split hickory. I would use, if I could get post oak, I would use it. There may be some guys who are getting like tractor trailer loads of post oak and using it. I can't source it. And so we're using hickory for the Texas barbecue. I like the way that it burns. We have a very consistent process. We know how much to feed into the fire. And then we use scrap wood for this Carolina barbecue. That's how we figured out how to make it affordable, because that scrap wood is a lot cheaper than the hickory, and we burn a lot of it. And it's expensive, but it comes out really good. So we're fortunate that we found our wood guy, Wedges, to give us the specific woods that we need to make this thing affordable. So let's wrap this up by checking out the back kitchen and looking at our custom line that we built. Okay, here's our back kitchen. This is where everything comes together Saturday mornings. Really the only cooking that we do in here, right, boys, is just the buns, but dish wash, panning up stuff, final assembly. We do a lot of prep down here. In that kitchen, that's upstairs. Remember, we just walked from upstairs downstairs and upstairs to back. That's where we cook everything. So every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when we're cooking stuff, we're having to haul stuff up and down these stairs. Not fun. And we really want to have a normal kitchen where we have like normal stuff, but we're making it work for the time being. We figured out how to make it work, and we'll turn into a regular restaurant one day. But we got to deal with what we got for now. So let's check out this line and wrap this up.
One pint, heard that?
So,
It's about as small as it's gonna get.
kind of normal. We got the proteins, we got the warmers, beef rib, briskets, ribs, all being cut in order. We got 2 cupboard setups. So Ben's over here chopping the pork with the crispy skin, or chopping pork in general if we have some. We got all the sides lined up here, another warmer to pull. Some of our world famous cornbread, looking good. Something a lot of people are surprised about whenever we sell the cornbread. We ask, do you want to, if you look at this, do you want a center or edge piece? And so it looks like the center pieces are pretty hot today. That's the hot ticket item. And so, yeah, we'll start taking centers out of here, because as long as we got them, we'll give them whatever they want. Carrot cake. And that's it. And I'll be walking around all day just trying to make sure everybody's happy, and putting out fires as they pop up. That's it. Thanks. North Carolina style, so we want to flip it, salt only, and finish it. No mopping or any of that jazz. Things starting next month or so. We want to start doing Carolina style, maybe doing like a Rodney Scott style with a mop. Break it up all in the pit. We'll see. So our process is kind of similar to Evans at Leroy and Lewis. We have the same basic approach that I haven't seen, honestly, I haven't seen anywhere else. So Evan and I, we cook the pig on Saturday for the next day, and then we hold it overnight to help it render and really get that fat where we want it. Hello. And something that he does differently is that they've already broken it down into primals. And we cook it whole, and then whenever we pull it, we break it down into primals. But then from that point forward, it's really similar, because what we know is that when you hot hold it and more of the fat renders out, if you can save that fat and put it back into it, it makes the pork just way, 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 way better. And I mean, that's how you can really get away with not having to sauce it. Part of not having to sauce it is not overcooking the living hell out of it, and cooking all the fat of it. But number two, keeping what makes it tender and juicy with it. So anyway, a really unique process that I don't do a good job of showing people, because I think that once people do it once or twice, I think they'll see that the end product is really, really solid. I'm not saying it's better than anybody else's, but we get a really well executed, incredibly consistent product by doing it this way. So we'll flip it in a few hours, and then we're very meticulous with the wings, as you can see how they're laid out. Same with the chickens. The flats and the drums do not cook at the same rate. We always cook flats skin side up, so that hot air running over top dries out the skin as much as possible, because we don't have a fryer to drop them in to crisp them up. So I wouldn't call these crisp, but I would not call them rubbery. They better not be rubbery. If they were rubbery, I wouldn't be serving them. And of course, we brine them. Brine anything that has feathers on it gets brined. Dark meat towards the firebox. My tip, see what this thing looks like. Sure. And then we'll pull a couple guys in here. Oh my gosh, this is one of the most anxiety-filled moments when we're trying to flip this thing. Thing ever fell on the floor. Oh, hell yes. Boy, 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 look at here.
How heavy is it again?
It started at 160 pounds. Normally we're cooking about 120 to 140. And with what we got to do to it, that 20 pounds, make it a hot pocket. Oh, Jesus! Ah!
Going this way?
Which, there we go. Hot pocket. Okay. So right arm. And so Carl, your right arm
is under my left.
1, 2, 3. Oh, yes, sir.
Textbook.
Thank you. Good job, guys. So now we turn this thing into an oven. This is the ham. The belly is getting really close as is. And then this is the pork shoulder right here. Yeah, pork belly, spare ribs. So part of that came from the flip with how violent that flip is. And then something we don't talk about too much is We use the trotters. That goes into our Hoppin' John. They add a lot of great flavor. The breaking it down over time in the braising process. So the origin of the announcements was that when we moved in here 2 years ago, this was third world nation. And so we set up some folding tables and a small serving bar, and we would only let customers take about 10 steps inside and order food. And we had almost like theater set up where I could overhear, hey, a pound of brisket, and we'd slice it to order while the cashier took the order. And we'd go out and do an announcement so that when people showed up, they were probably thinking we were a normal restaurant. And at the time, we were actually kind of a illegal food truck operating in the shell of a restaurant that badly needed to be renovated. And so we have a restroom upstairs, no indoor seating. And so the origin of the announcements was to kind of explain how upside down this place is. And then, started doing that every single weekend. We didn't become an actual legal restaurant for like 2 months, 3 months. And then once we did, we didn't have indoor dining for a few weeks. And so I was still explaining the geography of everything. And then we threw the tables in here. And then the announcements evolved. And then finally in January, like 8-10 months later, we got indoor dining. So it just kept it because people like really dig the announcement because there's a lot of lack of detail, and that's in part on purpose. If you look at the menu, there's not a bunch of eloquent descriptions of how beautiful and delicious the food is. It's got collards because just want you to try the collards, eat the collards. I don't need to sell you on the fancy description. I've been working on a descriptive menu so that people really want to know, hey, these are fresh collards using our own pork stock and bacon that we make in-house. But the menu is intentionally oversimple. And like I was saying outside with our pork processor, there's a lot of details here that I just don't get out without eventually out. They're not secrets. It's just not the way that I wanted to do it. I wanted to be purely about the food and the simplicity of the way it used to be. So like whenever Grandma cooked collards, did Grandma tell you about all the crap that she put into it? Nah, here's some collards. Here's some shells and cheese. And that's kind of the shtick, is that it's not simple food, but I don't think it needs to be embellished to make it good. So that's my take on it. We open another restaurant, maybe we have like this crazy, maybe we're normal, but for now, this is the way we're rolling. And also we have so many new people that always show up that are oblivious to what's going on. There's some things to note, different menus, but also, subscribe to the email, why the email is important. We always have a line. Some people show up thinking that it's a one-time phenomenon. We are so blessed, and I'll mention this out here in a bit. Every single Saturday we've opened here, every Saturday that I've ever opened, except for a handful at Craft and Draft, we've always had a line, and it's a blessing. Every Sunday we've opened here, we've had a line. Sometimes it wasn't big, but every Sunday we've had a line. Saturdays, it's almost been big. Once or twice, the line like petered out at like 11:20, 11:30, and that, woo boy, that talk about, that'll wake you up. Like, we can only handle 1 or 2 of those a year because we run such a tight ship because we're only open 9 hours. We're not generating buku revenue. It'd be nice if we were, but to do what we do, we simply cannot produce that much food in volume and maintain, for now, the quality that we're striving for. So, as I've told people, after James Beard, so the time stamp on this is we're a few weeks out from the James Beard announcement for 2025, and right now we're just in pure execution mode. making sure the food is right, because we know we know our recipes are good. We know that if we execute the food the way that we want to, and we know that if we are consistent with that we can serve a very solid, very respectable bite of food, and that is truly, purely our focus, is to serve the exact same food week after week after week. I've described it before out there that I don't want somebody coming back in here and saying, oh, it's way better this week, or last week's were better. This should be the exact same bite week after week. If it wasn't good, we need to switch it up. So anyway. Sorry, y'all. I was in there just dilly-dallying. Okay. Hey, y'all, welcome. If you're new here, we have restroom upstairs. We have free waters in the white cooler inside. This guy's filming Kevin's barbecue joints, does walkthrough videos, so we're going to do a walkthrough so that everybody that's not here can see how this works, because it's a little unique. Free waters inside. I'm not sure if there's any more free beers in the red cooler inside. And if you can't hear me, I'll tell you all the same stuff in a little bit. We have indoor dining right behind you. We have tables upstairs, and we have picnic tables out in the yard. Today, we got a lot of beef rib. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? If you're not familiar with beef rib is the most expensive thing on the menu. They're expensive. You got to buy the whole rib. A lot of people come in here and order beef rib not realizing that each rib on the plate is going to be $60, $80. I mean, they're expensive. They're really good. They're the least percentage marked up item on the menu, FY. We're not price gouging, I promise. Brisket, pulled pork. Hey, so let me explain our pulled pork. If you're not aware, it's a little unique or different. A lot of places just smoke shoulders, and then there's a handful of whole hog places. FYI, we got whole hog tomorrow, but we don't do whole hog every week. Whole hog's very inefficient, cost-wise, operationally, to execute it at a high level. That's why we don't do it. We do it once a month when we have time to really focus on it. But on Saturdays, what I found was a happy medium of cooking a long cut shoulder, which is the butt and the picnic, in addition to pork bellies. And so what we do on Friday, we direct cook Carolina style, salt only, direct over coals, bellies and these long cut shoulders. Both of them are skin on. And Saturday morning, we pull it, mix it all together. So you don't just have simple shoulder meat. You've got belly meat, which adds a lot of succulence to the bite. And we don't sauce the pulled pork, and that's in part how we get away with that, is we got this really succulent pork belly going into the pulled pork. We portion 100% of it into half pound and pound containers. What we found during the food truck days is that if you pack all the pulled pork into a deep pan, the way we did it at least, the fat will drop to the bottom over the course of time, and the top is nowhere near as good as the bottom. And so our process, we burn through a lot of these little expensive cups, but whether you show up at 11 a.m. or 5 p.m., you get the exact same bite of barbecue. That's why we do this way. Another reason why we do it this way, so, buffets, we'll talk about, they got 2 or 3 different kinds of barbecue on the buffet. And the reality is they got one type of barbecue with 3 different sauces on it. And so what we're offering you is actually a couple different regional distinct styles. And so we got pulled pork, which is kind of West Columbia, Lexington County, Midland style. If you prefer chopped pork, we'll take that pre-portioned pulled pork and we're going to chop it to order for you. We'll do it a little splash, the menu says, with some PD style chopped sauce. And what we're doing with that is we're just adding a hint of acidity to it. We're not trying to sauce the meat. The meat doesn't need sauce to be edible. It better not, but the purpose of it is to add some acidity. You can add whatever sauce you want, and it shouldn't conflict or have an issue if you prefer it yellow or the red sauce or the white sauce. And then the third option that you have on here is chopped with crispy skin. So this is from eastern North Carolina. And so like I said, we cook the skin on shoulders. Those skins are available for purchase. We don't break them up. It's the whole skin. We only got a handful available in there. But the pork belly skins we crisp up as well. And the third option here, chopped with crispy skin, we will chop up some of that skin into the chopped pork. And it's a really awesome bite. It adds some very unique texture to it. This comes from Skylight Inn, really old school whole hog joint up in eastern North Carolina. It is a really good bite of barbecue. My go-to sandwich here is chopped crispy skins with slaw sandwich. That's legit North Carolina barbecue right there. But pulled pork, if you want South Carolina barbecue, we got plenty of pulled pork for you. The spare ribs are cooked salt only as well, no sauce. They look terrible, but they taste really good. They don't have a bark on them because we don't put a lot of sugar and rub and crap all over it. That's just pure salt, and cooking it over coals has a really good backyardsy flavor to it. And we got a really good process to getting these pork ribs tender. Our Sunday ribs are just as tender, but we cook them a different style. So FYI, we got different pork ribs Saturday and Sunday. None of the barbecue that we serve has sauce on it except for two things. I don't consider the chopped pork sauce, so that's an outlier. But the pork belly ribs and the char siu pork belly burnt ends both have a sweet sauce on it, but otherwise none of the barbecue has any sauce on it. The belly ribs, we have a very limited amount. People in the back will not have any of those. If you're not familiar, belly rib is literally the belly of the pig with the spare ribs attached, and we cut out each spare rib. So you got a thick spare rib, cooked to tender. Salt, pepper, seasoned salt, and that sweet finish. It's like 3 or 4 different textures and different types of fat and protein. It's a pretty awesome bite. Okay, sides, and then I'll stop yapping. We make all the sides, beans and vegetables are all made fresh. The beans today are pinto, sweet beans. It's not on the menu, but if you're familiar with us having beanie weenies, we got beanie weenies today, but it's not on the menu. If you're not familiar, we make house-made brisket hot dogs with all of our brisket trim, 100% house-made. Only like 6 things in it, no crazy stuff, tails or hooves or nothing. And if you want a really high-end beanie weenie, these are really good beanie weenies. We cut up what we call the ugly dogs. So not every hot dogs are a sausage. Not every single one we make looks perfect to go into the bun. And so the ones that are not pretty, ugly dogs, we cut them up like beanie weenies and we saute them, and we'll throw those on top of the sweet beans. They're really good. The sweet beans are basically baked beans, except for they're not baked. They're braised. So that's why I don't call them baked beans. Collard shells, green beans. The green beans are fresh snap beans that we cook directly under those pork bellies that I told you about. So you're getting some of the fat dropping into them and some of the smoke emanating throughout them during the day. Pretty good. The Hoppin' John, the thing that I marked out was that we switch back and forth between black eyed peas, using black eyed peas or sea island red peas, or a black eyed pea. Last week we had black eyed peas and I forgot to update it. So this week we're using sea island red peas for that. We have a handful of brisket burger patties in the freezer. We have Sloppy Joe in the grab and go cooler this week as well. That's been out for a while. The carrot cake, man, Courtney, is the carrot cake good?
It's good.
Yep. The carrot cake's really good. Okay. Oh, if you're new here, if you haven't subscribed to the email, I highly recommend subscribing to the email. A couple different things that it has on there. It lets you know if we know for sure we're going to be like really busy, or if we think we're going to be slow, so that you can kind of gauge. If you were planning on rolling up here at 11, you would know like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to wait for this. And when we know we're going to be busy, there's another 50 people in that line, so that's a good warning. That email tells you what the tentative menus are for Saturday and for Sunday, because they're different. I've taped up our Sunday menu, tentative. We don't know what's going to happen until we actually get the doors open. But tomorrow our special is going to be whole hog. We do one special protein on Sunday each week, and that's another piece of info in that email, is that would tell you, hey, this week it's whole hog, next week it's probably going to be pork steak, and then we'll do that beef and queso prime rib sandwich again in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But that'll be mentioned in that email. Thanks for coming. We truly do appreciate it. Got any questions? These guys that are going to serve you made all the food. So if you got a question about it, they take pride in the work, and I talk about this all the time. I got a bunch of unicorns in there that most restaurants are lucky to have 1, 2 people that care about the food. That helps, kind of put out some good food. I'm blessed that every single person that you're going to interact with cares about the food, and we couldn't do this. We wouldn't be in the newspaper if I didn't have these guys. So they're excited to serve y'all and to earn a second, third, or 50th visit, whatever it's going. What you want?
Is it onions or something?
You want some side red onions?
I think it's pickles or something like that. I don't know. Whatever comes with it.
Let's see if we can fit them in here. Julian, give me a side of red onions, side of dills. You want some sauce? You want a sauce?
Sure.
Red, yellow, white, blue,
Yellow's fine.
yellow.
Perfect. We'll give you a credit. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. That's all I need right there. 3.5 total. Alright, what else can we get for y'all?
One slice of cornbread. Now, on your cornbread, do you prefer center or edge slices? Edge. Got it.
Is it freshly made?
This morning,
No,
they all came out here this morning. On edge slice of cornbread, you need it.
We rotate which heirloom black-eyed pea you use. Last week it was just a heirloom black-eyed pea.